Good morning, I'm Samriddhi K.C. These are the headlines of the hour. Ruling partners CPN, UML and Nepali Congress divided regarding Chinese Belt and Road Initiative with Prime Minister Olis China visit just around the corner. Minister Badri Pandey directs the airlines to submit airfare rates by 4 p.m. orders to reassess and justify the increased rates. US charges billionaire Gautam Adani over a multi-billion-dollar bribery and fraud scheme attempt to obtain contract yielding $2 billion of profit over 20 years. And Italy bags Billie Jean King Cup after 11 years, wraps a 2-0 win over Slovakia. Welcome back. Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli's China visit is just 11 days away. The Premier's first official state visit since assuming office this time around has been looked at with heightened interest as the two sides are expected to dwell on the implementation of a number of previous agreements, including the Belt and Road initiatives proposed by China. Ruling alliance partners Nepali Congress and CPN UML meanwhile have been at different stands regarding the Belt and Road initiative.
Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli, right ahead of his China visit, has been busy in seeking for a consensus regarding Belt and Road initiative after ruling coalition partner Nepali Congress decided that Nepal should implement projects as such only if grants are provided. The Premier himself has been in favor of a mix of grants and concessional loans as per necessity for the BRI project.
BRI अन्तर्गतको कुनै निश्चित परियोजनाको बारेमा छलफल हुँदैन तर हामी BRI अन्तर्गत यो यसलाई चाहिँ कार्यान्वयन गर्दै यस अन्तर्गतका परियोजना क्रमशः कार्यान्वयन गर्छौं है भन्ने एउटा समझदारी गरौं भन्ने चिनको प्रस्ताव छ हामी त्यसमा सकारात्मक छौं.
The Chinese side has proposed to provide support for projects under BRI and Nepal is currently dwelling on 9 potential projects. China has proposed for investments in the Tokha-Khahare tunnelway, Raswa-Gari Kathmandu road upgradation, building a dry port in Korla border and hydropower projects. Nepali Congress meanwhile has been stating that Nepal does not immediately need these projects under BRI even if they come in the form of grants.
ती विकासका परियोजनामा साझेदारी गर्न चाहन्छौं. हामी उनीहरुबाट सँगसँगै यो बेलामा हामी अनुदानबाट सँगसँगै बसेर हाम्रो विकासका ती आकांक्षाहरूलाई पूरा गर्न चाहन्छौं. यी हाम्रा प्राथमिकताहरू छन्. हामी यो भन्दा अगाडि भएका सम्झौताहरू सबै कार्यान्वयन हुन पहिला त्यसपछि हामी नयाँ कुराको बारेमा सोचौं भन्ने कुराको बारेमा सोच्दछौं. हामी यो भनिरहँदै गर्दा हामी सँगसँगै सहयात्रा गरेका दलका सोच्ने कतिपय विषयहरुमा फरक छन् भन्ने पनि हामी मान्दछौं. र हामीले त्यो क्षमता राख्नुपर्छ कि हामी सँगै बसेर एउटा धारणा बनाउनुपर्छ भन्ने राख्दछौं.
Nepali Congress's current stance comes in a sharp contrast with its own decision, as it was the coalition government of Nepali Congress and CPN Maoist Centre that signed the BRI agreement back in 2017. The party, however, has been voicing support for government preparations to urge the northern neighbour to turn the loans taken for Pokhara International Airport into grant.
र सकेसम्म चाहिँ त्यो ऋणलाई चाहिँ अनुदानमा चाहिँ कन्भर्ट गरिदिनुस् भन्ने हाम्रो आग्रह छ. अब यो द्विपक्षीय छलफलबाट टुङ्गिने कुरा हो. त्यसमा केही न केही सहुलियत हुन्छ भन्ने हाम्रो आशा छ, विश्वास छ. हामी चिनिया मित्रहरूलाई तदनुरूप आग्रह पनि गरिरहेका छौं.
Although it was a BRI framework agreement that was signed in 2017, an agreement for the execution of the plan has yet to be signed. China plans to join Asia with Africa and Europe through BRI project with the aim of improving regional unity, increasing trade and economy. The Belt and Road Initiative has 147 members, including Nepal. The implementation of the project in the country, however, has been stranded due to lack of consensus among political parties.
Minister of Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation Badri Pandey has warned to investigate and take action against the private airlines company that increased the airfares arbitrarily. Minister Pandey has issued the warning in meeting with the representatives of Civil Aviation Authority and Airlines Company. He has instructed to submit report of all the details relating to the airfare by 4 p.m. today. Director General of Civil Aviation Authority of Nepal, CAN, Pradeep Adhikari has blamed the private airlines company of taking undue advantage of the situation and causing trouble to the ordinary citizens. He has expressed his dissatisfaction towards the provision of allowing travel agencies to sell the air tickets. However, the private airlines company have claimed that the airfares escalate at this time every year. It's time now for some by-election update. Nepali Congress candidate Tika Kumari Chaudhary was elected unopposed as the Kailali District Coordination Committee chief after her rival withdrew her candidacy. According to the chief of the Provincial Election Office, Sudur Paschim Province, Premraj Bhatt, Congress candidate Chaudhary became the sole contestant after Rupati Dagoura Tharu from the Nagarik Unmukti Party withdrew her candidacy. The Kailali DCC chief position have been vacant since the death of Padam Khalil on 7th of January 2023. Jagat Karti of CPN Maoist Center has been elected unopposed as the ward chair of Ward number 2 on Putha Uttarganga Rural Municipality Rukum East after the rival candidates withdrew their nominations on Wednesday. CPN UML candidate Jeevan Roka and an independent candidate withdrew their candidacies, leaving Karti as the sole contender. According to the Election Commission, 410 candidates have registered their nominations for 44 vacant positions in the upcoming local by-elections scheduled for 1st of December. Likewise, according to the Chief Election Officer of Bajura, Swami Kartik Khappar Rural Municipality Sanjeev Pokhrel, Maoist Center's Raju Kumari Bika and Rashtriya Prajatantra Party's Suna Devi Thapa both have withdrawn their candidacies for the vice chair. Remaining candidates in the fray are Nepali Congress pick Putisara Sahi, CPN UML Sulochana Kumari Bhandari and CPN Unified Socialist Jaba Sahi. The Election Commission has published the name list of the candidates for December 1. By election and the candidates have been provided with their election symbols. Nepal Oil Corporation NOC will relocate the aviation fuel depot within the Tribhuvan International Airport complex by the Nepali year of 2084 BS Mangshir. A bilateral agreement has also been signed between the Nepal Oil Corporation and Institute of Engineering Studies for the preparation of a detailed project report. The agreement was signed by Pradeep Kumar Yadav, head of Oil Corporation Sinamangal Depot, and Narayan Gautam, who is an associate professor of the institute. Yadav has promised to relocate the aviation fuel depot of the airport complex by the Nepali year of Mangshir 2084 BS.
84 को मन्सिर भित्र हामीले यो कन्स्ट्रक्सन नै कम्प्लिट हामी गरिसक्छौं त्यो भनेको म्याक्सिमम टाइम हो मेरो लागि मैले प्रोजेक्ट चलाएर आएको हो 3 वर्ष भनेको कन्स्टिट्युट उस्तै पर्यो भने यो प्रोजेक्टमा 2 वर्षमा इन्ड गरिदिन्छु 24 आवर काम गर्ने हो त्यहाँ साइटमा हुन्छ त्यो साइटमा भइसकेपछि
It is said that the cost of preparing the DPR will be 19.8 million rupees. The cabinet meeting held on the 12th of August had agreed to increase the depot transfer within 1 year. Accordingly, the NOC has given the Engineering Institute the task of preparing the DPR for the relocation of airport's aviation fuel depot. At present, the distance between the airport depot and the runway is only 90 meters. However, according to the standards of the International Aviation Organization, the distance should be 172.5 meters. NOC said that a DPR will be prepared and the depot will be transferred. A bilateral agreement on carbon trade has been signed between Nepal and Sweden during Climate Change Conference COP29 held in Baku, Azerbaijan. The agreement was signed by the Secretary of the Ministry of Forest and Environment, Deepak Kharel, on the behalf of Nepal and Director General of Ministry of Energy, Caroline Esserf, on behalf of Sweden. After the agreement of the Swedish government will assist in the implementation of Nepal's nationally determined contribution NDC as well as help in greenhouse gas reduction. Dr. Sindhu Dungana, Chief of Climate Division of the Ministry of Forest and Environment of Nepal, has said that the first carbon trade agreement was signed between Nepal and Sweden.
Nepal made a historic bilateral cooperative agreement with Sweden government on implementing Article 6.2 of the Paris Agreement. That means when Nepal reduces carbon emissions, then the credit can be sold to Sweden government.
It is time for international news. Gautam Adani, the billionaire chair of the Indian conglomerate Adani Group and one of the world's richest people, have been indicted in New York over his role in alleged multi-billion-dollar bribery and fraud scheme. Authorities said Adani and 7 other defendants, including his nephew Sagar Adani, agreed to pay about $265 million in bribes to Indian government officials to obtain contracts expected to yield $2 billion of profit over 20 years and develop India's largest solar power plant project. Prosecutors also said that Adani and other executives at Adani Green Energy, former CEO Vineet Jain, raised more than $3 billion in loans and bonds by hiding their corruption from lenders and investors. Adani Group did not immediately respond to the request for comments outside the business hours in India, where the charges were announced early Thursday morning. India's embassy in Washington did not immediately respond to the request for comment. Lawyers for the defendants could not immediately be identified. The 62-year-old Adani is worth $69.8 billion according to Forbes magazine. His fortune makes him the world's 22nd richest person. And Ukraine has fired UK-supplied Storm Shadow missiles at target inside Russia for the first time. The war-torn country was previously restricted to using the long-range missiles within its own borders. Reports of the strikes come after Ukraine was given permission from Washington to fire US-supplied missiles at the Russian territory. The government has refused to comment on the reports for operational reasons, but officials confirmed Defense Secretary John Halley spoke to his Ukrainian counterpart on Tuesday night. Ukraine's Defense Minister Rustam Umrov has also declined to confirm that his country has used the Storm Shadow missiles within Russian territory, but said it was using all the means to defend the country. Storm Shadow is considered as an ideal weapon for penetrating hardened bunkers and ammunition stores such as those used by Russia in its war against Ukraine. The US and UK had previously not given permission, with suggestions this was related to not wanting to escalate the war. But at the weekend, US President Joe Biden gave the green light for Ukraine to use the Army tactical missile system supplied by the US to strike Russia. The US has also approved sending landmines to Ukraine in an attempt to slow down Russian troops. Storm Shadow is an Anglo-French cruise missile with a maximum range of around 250 km. The French call it Scalp. China and Brazil decided on Wednesday to elevate their ties to the community with a shared future for more than just a world and a sustainable planet. The decision was made during a meeting between Chinese President Xi Jinping and his Brazilian counterpart in Brazil's capital city, Brasilia. Xi is paying a state visit to the country after he attended the 19th G20 summit in Rio de Janeiro. Xi said that China and Brazil are two major developing countries in the respective hemispheres, noting that in the past 50 years they enjoyed a relationship that transcends mountains and the seas and found a right way for major developing countries to get each along with one another, one that is based on mutual respect, mutual benefit and amity. He further added that Brazil is the first country to establish a strategic partnership with China and the first American Latin country to establish a comprehensive strategic partnership with China. Xi noted that China and Brazil have also decided to establish synergies between the Belt and Road Initiative (BRI) and Brazil's development strategies. He further insisted on the enhanced synergy of development strategies between Brazil and China will greatly contribute to Brazil's re-industrialization, promote the integration of South America, and set an example of solidarity, cooperation, and mutual benefit among the developing countries. Lula focused on stepping discussions and promote cooperation in key areas such as infrastructure, finance, industrial chains, science and technology, and ecological conservation, adding that more Chinese enterprises are welcome to invest and conduct cooperation in Brazil. Brazil expects to improve its level of connectivity and logistics with China and promote the common development and prosperity of Brazil, Latin America, and China. Mexico marked the 114th anniversary of the revolution on Wednesday with a massive downtown parade in the capital that paid special tribute to women's participation in the armed forces. Thousands of Mexicans dressed in revolutionary attire paraded along Reform Avenue, one of Mexico City's main streets, towards Zocalo Square in front of the National Palace, where President Claudia Sheinbaum addressed the audiences. Participants reenacted battles from the revolutionary struggle during the parade. November 20th marks the anniversary of the start of 1910 to 1917 Mexico Revolution, where Mexican people took up their arms against Porfirio Diaz regime, who had remained in power for more than 3 decades. That is all for the moment. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.